All right, so if you've just finished the Fallout Season 2 finale, I'm guessing your head is still spinning. It was just complete and utter chaos, right? A total symphony of destruction that left every single one of our major characters at a huge crossroads. Seriously, that finale was packed with heartbreak, some massive reveals, and cliffhangers that have everybody talking. So what in the world does it all mean for the future of the Wasteland? Well, let's dive in and try to make some sense of all that madness. Okay. So here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll get into the absolute mayhem that went down in New Vegas. Then we'll check in on our heroes, Lucy, the Ghoul, and Maximus, and see where they ended up. After that, we're going to unpack the villain's huge master plan, look at the other wild cards making their moves, and finally, piece it all together to figure out what's coming in Season 3.
Right, first up, New Vegas. You know, the entire season felt like a powder keg, just waiting to go off, and the finale, which was perfectly titled This Strip, was the explosion. Every single storyline we were following, Lucy looking for her dad, the struggle for the Mojave, it all just crashed together right there.
And this really sets the new status quo. The finale didn't just tie up loose ends, oh no. It blew a massive power vacuum wide open in the Mojave. Suddenly, New Vegas is the ultimate prize, and it looks like multiple factions are getting ready for an all-out war to control it. So while the Wasteland is gearing up for war, the personal journeys of our main characters are just as chaotic. Let's take a look at where this insane finale leaves Lucy, the Ghoul, and Maximus. You know, there's something so tragic about the Ghoul's arc. Before the bombs fell, he was Cooper Howard, the hero who, as someone said, bet on hope. But after 200 years of just surviving and being cynical, he finally reaches his goal and finds nothing. His family is gone. It is an absolutely devastating moment. But just when it seems like all hope is completely lost, he finds this. Inside his wife's empty cryopod, there's a postcard from Colorado. And this one tiny clue gives him a whole new purpose. So he leaves the chaos of New Vegas behind and heads for a place we have never, ever seen in the games before. That's a brand new mystery for Season 3 right there. Lucy's journey was just gut-wrenching. She finally learns the horrifying truth about her father's brainwashing operation, and in this desperate moment of justice, she uses his own horrible tech against him. But here's the thing, that doesn't solve the problem. With Hank's memories totally wiped, Lucy's now left all alone, holding the bag and responsible for stopping the war her own father helped start. Meanwhile, Maximus is having his big hero moment. His power armor is failing, he's staring down a whole swarm of Deathclaws. But does he back down? No way. He improvises, grabs a roulette wheel for a shield and a stick for a spear, and becomes this Vegas gladiator, all to protect the people of Freeside. And just when you think he's about to be totally overwhelmed, an army shows up on the horizon. It's the New California Republic, the NCR, a group a lot of people thought was totally broken. They just show up and save the day. This is a massive moment for the world of Fallout, and it all ends with his long-awaited, really emotional reunion with Lucy. Okay, so now that we know where our heroes are, let's talk about the villains. We need to unpack the secrets of the major bad guys, because their plans are about to change the entire Wasteland. So we've had villains like Hank and Mr. House, but the finale finally pulls back the curtain and reveals the real puppet masters who've been pulling the strings this whole time, a shadowy group known only as the Enclave. So who exactly are these guys? Well, for anyone new to the world of Fallout, the Enclave is basically the deep state of this universe. They're descendants of the pre-war US government, and they see themselves as the true heirs to America. They're incredibly powerful, totally ruthless, and they believe that anyone born in the Wasteland is a mutant that needs to be, well, purged. And their influence is just staggering. We find out they were controlling the leadership at Voltech. They ordered those mind control chips Hank was working on. They created monsters like Deathclaws using something called the FEV. And, of course, they had Hank McLean in their pocket the entire time. Which brings us to Hank's most chilling confession. Right before his mind gets wiped, he tells Lucy that the vaults, they were never the real point. The surface itself was the grand experiment. And he's already sent out his R&D department, those are mind-controlled people, out into the Wasteland following orders that were written centuries ago. At the exact same time, another group of villains is going through a huge change.
Over in Caesar's Legion, this ambitious guy, Lacerda Legate, finds Caesar's final note, which basically says the Legion should die with him. What does he do? He eats the note, declares himself the new Caesar, and his very first order, march on New Vegas.
But it's not just the Enclave and the Legion making big plays. The finale threw a few other wild cards onto the board, just to add even more fuel to this fire. Just when you thought the episode had dropped its last bombshell, boom, the post-credits scene comes along and introduces a game-changing new weapon that is going to cause so much trouble. I want you to meet Liberty Prime Alpha. The Brotherhood of Steel's leader, Elder Quintus, who now calls himself Quintus the Destroyer, unveils the blueprints for this absolute monster. It's not just a robot. It is a walking, talking piece of propaganda that screams anti-communist slogans while it throws mini-nukes. This isn't just a new weapon. It's a huge statement that the Brotherhood is ditching its old mission to preserve tech and is going all in on fanatical warfare. And let's not forget that huge reveal back in the vaults. We find out Steph Harper is a secret Enclave agent, and she was Hank's pre-war wife. Trapped, she sends a signal to her bosses to initiate Phase 2. We don't know what that is yet, but we know it's tied to that forced evolutionary virus, which suggests the Enclave is about to go from small experiments to a full-scale purification of the Wasteland. Okay, so let's put all these pieces together. With all these factions, all these secrets, and these insane superweapons now in play, the Season 2 finale has perfectly set the stage for a massive multi-front war in Season 3. This really breaks it down perfectly. You've got Caesar's Legion and the reformed NCR both marching on New Vegas to reclaim it. You've got the Brotherhood of Steel, who seem to just want pure destruction with Liberty Prime. And then, behind it all, you have the Enclave, ready to kick off Phase 2 with their mind control tech and the FEV. It's an absolute pressure cooker. So, it all comes down to this one huge question. Our heroes are scattered, the Ghoul is off in Colorado, while Lucy and Maximus are stuck at Ground Zero. With every single faction armed to the teeth and ready for war, who do you think will actually come out on top in the battle for the Wasteland? I guess we'll just have to wait for Season 3 to find out.